Hello, so we're going to start with Chapter 10 workbook pages to review the last chapter before CASP testing. That is coming up very soon. May 14th is your first day for CASP testing this year. And we wanted to share about how they're talking about the idea of an event and how likely an event is to happen. So the directions on 10.1 we actually changed a little bit. So this is workbook page 212. It says a bag is filled with 4 red marbles, 3 blue marbles, 3 yellow marbles, and 2 green marbles. You randomly choose 1 marble from the bag. We're adding in the note that this is called an event. And then if you wanted to, you could just use your pencil and you could write out like a circle and put an R in it for state testing if you wanted to show that that was the red. But because we had color here, we decided to color code it. So again, you want to double check each time and make sure that you're doing what you say that you are doing. 4 red marbles, so we see that we have 4 red, so I'm going to put a check mark above that. 3 blue, we do have 3 blue. 3 yellow, we've got the 3 yellow, I'm checking that, and 2 green, so I'm checking that. And then I'm double checking, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm checking again, that's 5 plus 7, that's 12. For sure it's 12 total. Now we decided to change the question because the book was a little bit too simple. And we wanted to make it into probability and odds. We are also going to be doing the probability with 2 dice activity. This is all about probability and odds. So you're going to be doing that activity and gathering data from an experiment where we're actually rolling the dice to see the probability of each number being rolled in an activity, an experiment. Okay, so when you're talking about changing this to probability, I would like for you to change your directions to say find the probability of the event. So that's what it's going to be, find the probability of the event, and then find the favorable outcome. That's also called the odds, or find the odds. So we're asking for the thing that they're requesting. Find the probability or the odds for what they're looking for. Number 1, it says choosing red. Now we remember our lesson that probability has to do with what you want, that's called the favorable outcome, divided by the total. And remember that probability has a T in it, and total is also starting with a T. Probability is a bigger number, and so we want to make sure that we are using our bigger number on the bottom. If you're comparing that to odds, which is something that a lot of people do, probability and odds go together in math lessons, you would say that if you were going to do a versus, what's different between probability and odds? Well, compare and contrast. The top will be the same. It's the favorable outcome, what you want. But the bottom is different. For odds, it's what you want compared to what you don't want. I know for Hunger Games there's the quote, may the odds always be in your favor. That means that you'd have more smiley faces than you'd have frowny faces. The odds for what you want is greater than the odds for what you don't want. Okay, looking down, number 1, it says choosing red. Well, out of these 12, 4 of them are red. So choosing red, 4 would make you happy, and there's a total of 12. If that was the choice for the CASP test, choose that. That would be accurate. If they were just asking, what's the possible favorable outcomes, you'd say there's a total of 4. And if they just asked, what are the total outcomes, you would just say 12. But if they're asking for the probability, it would be 4 over 12. And then if you want to put it in lowest terms, divide by the greatest common factor of 4, and you get 1/3. So either of these answers would be accurate. Next, if you're looking for the odds, 4, the 4 red would make you happy, but the 3 yellow, the 2 green, and the 3 blue together, that's a total of 8, would make you sad. So here it's 4 compared to 8. So it's 1 out of 2 if you reduce it down to lowest terms. And here we can see the odds are not in our favor because the frowny face one's the 8. There's more choices than the smiley face 4. The odds are actually 2 to 1 against you. Okay, so you're going to be doing problems 2 and 3 on your own. Let's look down at number 4. Choosing not blue. Well, here we can see at the top that we have 3 blue, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 not blue. So if you wanted to choose any other color than blue, say you already had blue on a poster a lot and you wanted to choose a different color. So choosing a color that's not blue, 9 would make you happy out of a total of 12. The odds of choosing not blue, if you were just randomly picking something out like a marker out of a bag or the marbles out of a bag, 9 things would make you happy and only 3 things would make you sad. There used to be a game on The Price is Right where you had to reach into a bag, and if you pulled out an X, then you lose. So those would be the type of things that would be not happy, the sad faces. But usually there's a lot of other choices, and the happies were more chances to lose. But you never know. Even if the odds are against you, you could still win. And here, if the odds are in your favor, you unfortunately sometimes could still lose. Here, the odds are in your favor, 3-1. So it's very likely that you're going to pick something that's not blue. Okay, looking down, in order to figure out who will go first in a game, your friend asks you to pick a number between 1 and 25. What are all the possible outcomes? So we wrote all the possible outcomes. We wrote all the numbers from 1 to 25. Then next, we're going to change the questions for letters B and C. I want you to instead tell us what are the probability and odds of choosing an even number, and what are the probability and odds of choosing a number less than 20. And that'll finish up that page. Okay, now it's time to go to page 216. And I'm going to do this one from scratch for you because nobody has seen this yet. So page 216 asks you to describe the likelihood of the event given its probability. There is a 30% chance of snow today. Okay, so we're going to take that, and sometimes they call probability just a capital P, and they put it in parentheses. The probability of snow, or sometimes they put the capital P and they put the thing that they want in parentheses. So the probability of snow. Well, the probability of snow, there's a 30% chance. So 30% is 30 over 100, which equals 3 out of 10, which equals 30%. Is it likely going to snow? Class, what do you think? If there's only a 30% chance of snow, is it going to snow? Is that likely or unlikely? No. So we're going to call this unlikely. Unlikely is no. Okay, next, you solve a brain teaser 0.75% of the time. So the probability of solving is going to equal 75 out of 100. Okay, and here I'm going to have to stop. Thanks.